Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning, good morning, good morning.
I have something to share with you. Okay, so when you see me go like this is my nutritionally prescribed hot lemon water with a little salt, Celtic salt. However, this is where you come in. I throw a little ginger powder in that you introduced me to.
I'm so glad.
Yes.
So wait. Lemon juice,
And water.
Celtic salt, and ginger.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
It's really good. And it like hydrates me. Woo! Can't you see?
Okay, I feel, so I am playing tennis later. And last week when I played tennis, after having 2 cups of coffee, my heart nearly stopped. So I'm having decaffeinated coffee, which is not as fun.
Right.
As coffee. So I might have to try your concoction.
Yeah, this is good. Well, it's not caffeine, but it's perky.
But it's flavorful.
It is very flavorful, yes.
People have had enough of us talking about our morning routine and would like to hear your introduction.
Okay, so everybody, like I say every week, I'm in Rossley. I'm here with my dear friend and colleague, Kyle.Harvey. We sell real estate in downtown Chicago, and we love to come to you every Monday morning to talk about what's really going on. And there's lots going on. Today we have the update from first quarter telling you what's going on in Chicago's downtown market. Lots of good news there. And then we have Kyle talking about what's on our minds.
Oh,
and there's a lot. Pardon?
Introducing it. We're all talking about it. Yeah.
We're all talking about it. Yeah, right. Well, we're giving our little jazz on it. And then we have a new property to share with you that is exciting and fun and something I know you're going to want to stay to the end to see. And remember, we do this every week. We keep it on Facebook. We also put it up on YouTube. So please make sure you subscribe to us on our different YouTube channels and stay informed about what's going on.
Yeah.
So anything else before we jump into our statistics?
No, I want to hear all about it because I'm very interested in March.
Very interesting stuff going on. Not a lot different, but still, I think, really interesting. So first, as always, we talk houses. And if you haven't watched us before, we talk about what's happening in downtown Chicago. And that means from the South Loop up to Edgewater and the communities just west, like Westtown, Wicker Park, Bucktown, Logan, North Center, Lincoln Square, just to include them all. Okay. Last month, 87 homes closed. Look at that. We're up. Yeah. 87 also went under contract. That is not a typo. That is exactly right. 87 under contract, 87 closed. Now, we all know the reason it's only 87 is because of inventory, right? So here's the number. Only 151 homes are on the market right now. You see that it looks low. Well, it's really, really low because
oh my God.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Let's take a moment and feel the dearth of inventory. Yeah. Crazy. The last 3 months have been rock bottom. And I think it's just because whatever comes on is selling, right? And not a surprise. If you don't have inventory and you have demand, prices keep going up. $1,375,000 is our median sales price. During the housing crisis.
And we started in 2020, right?
We started our show in 2020.
If you look at the map, look at how much it's grown in just the course of our show.
Yes. Oh, good point. Yeah.
Wow.
Right? I know.
Good Lord. Straight up. It's because of us.
Here's the thing, everybody. The coasts go up and down and wild. This is not a crazy increase. This is a good, solid real estate increase. Chicago is a fabulous place.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And don't feel like if you haven't gotten into the market yet, there's no upward momentum for you.
No.
Real estate on average goes up, 3.5% or 4% per year nationally. Okay.
Chicago missed out on all the growth of the teens. like most other places. And so
Right.
we're finally in the 20s.
Yeah, I'm not sure even all the neighborhoods were out of the 2008 housing crisis pricing before COVID hit.
No,
They certainly are now, but
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So that translates to a 1.7 month supply, which, as you viewers know, is a real seller's market. Now, this is a little tricky. Showings per listing is 5.8 per showings per month. Okay. So it's not necessarily that there are more buyers out on the marketplace. It means that for the listings that are out there, those listings are getting a ton of showings.
Yeah.
Right? That makes sense. Okay. This is where it starts to get interesting and fun. Look at this. This is year to date Q1 sales, single family homes,
Good.
198. We're up.
We're up.
We're up. Even with this low inventory, we're up.
And these are the low inventory years. These are the years where we fully had higher interest rates that drove down the number of units for sale. So this is like to like. So it's growth. Good.
Uh-huh. All right. Switching over to condos, co-ops, townhomes, otherwise known as attached. All right. 874. It was 610 last month, but 874. Wait. February was 610. March was 874.
That's good.
Yes. Yes. And again, inventory is a story on attached as well. So, you know what I found interesting? Okay, this is closed, but look at under contract. You know, people ask us all the time, what's the best month to put my property on the market? Well, if you want to be on when everybody's going under contract, that's March. And this chart shows it, right?
Because people are trying to decide if they're going to continue to rent or they're going to buy.
Exactly. And Chicago has that wacky May 1 date that
April 1 and May 1. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. But still, okay. So 1109 up significantly from the month before. And again, 1692 for sale. That's up a little bit from the month before, but still the lowest March that we have had in many years. And just because I know we all like to see stuff, here's the, and of course, everybody recognizes the little pop up was in 2020 when everybody thought they couldn't stand to live in a condo during COVID. So that was 6893 that month. But the highest we've ever had on the market is 9,950.
Back in the bad old days.
Crazy time. All right. That's a 2-month supply. And if you break it out, I always like to see, especially condos, you know, because there's such a range of possibilities when you're looking to buy a condo. If you look at anything under $1 million, you're 1.6 to 1.8 in inventory. Then if you go $1 million to $2 million, it's still only 3.7 months worth of inventory. And still, if you go to $2 million and more, there's only 8.8 months. And I remember when we had like 17 months, and that felt typical for luxury. So 8.8 is pretty good.
Let me ask you this. Are you finding that so even with luxury, million and above, the things that are selling fastest are the new construction and the newer things versus the older condos?
I think that's absolutely right.
Well, let's also be honest that the brand new buildings can strategically time when they put things on the market. They put it on the market for a day and then they sell it.
So you're right. Yeah.
Data. But I have found in my own experience that newer buildings, the properties stay on the market for a shorter amount of time in luxury than they do in buildings that have been around for a while.
Right. Right. So I have something anecdotal to tell you that you'll appreciate because you've brought this up in the past. I sold a condo at the St. Regis this weekend to a couple from California. Remember how you were talking about people are thinking about leaving California? And they also have a home in New York, but they're leaving New York for Chicago because we're a safe place. We're an affordable place. But here's the other thing, to your point about they wanted new construction. They wanted it to feel clean and new, right? We've got some grand historic homes, and everybody knows I'm out of my mind for historic homes and vintage buildings, but that's not where the trend is now. So,
well, California likes the new.
yes.
New York is tired of vintage. So all of that suggests. Mm-hmm. So I have a luxury property in an older building, and everyone who's coming to see it is either a transplant or a second home person. A lot from California. California has been traumatized.
Okay, I got up my chat GPT, which I call Marvin. Wait till you hear this. I was saying, where are people coming and going from Chicago? And it gave me all the places. LA and California were one of the top 5 places. But here's the interesting statistic. For every 100 people who leave Chicago to go to California, 98 are leaving California to come to Chicago.
No. California has been traumatized. And they like Chicago better than a lot of other places. So
interesting stuff. Okay, well, I just thought I would share that. I mean, that kind of. So, but our point too is, where did I do? Do I present this again? I get all confused.
Did you have any more stats?
Oh no, I just changed my view. Oh, who's calling me? Oh, one of the attorneys on my deal. Sorry, everybody. Okay, now I know what to do. I just changed my view. Here we go. There we go. We're back. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's move forward. Okay. Median sales price. Oh my gosh. Is it 8 months in a row now? I'm saying we've hit the highest median sales price for condos. It's awesome. 453.5 now. And again, we are up year to date. Last year was a bit of a dip, but this year, 2025 is higher than 2023. Sales are up. I almost don't even want to show this. This is the showing time index, and it's February. I've been talking about March. Now we're back to February. Yeah, showings are up. We know it. Yeah. 664. But again, I did this like 10 days ago.
No, rates are up, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rents. Now, this is interesting. $3.18 is the average price per square foot on rents. They say they've been coming down. Interesting. I'm guessing if they're down, it's because we've got more new construction apartment buildings.
I don't know. This seems odd because everything. So I have had a couple of renter clients, and everything's going under contract over the asking price. So I find it a little hard to understand that stat.
I know. Well, and it's all Chicago too. So it could be different areas of Chicagoland or less. I don't know. That's all I've got, folks.
Well, interesting.
So that's it.
We have what's on our mind. So interesting things are on our mind. So today we have look at that pretty slide.
Pardon?
I said, look at that pretty slide. It's so unlike me to be able to make a pretty
slide. You can't say that much longer because you're getting good at this now.
No, because I use the same slide over and over again. So Anne is the one with the tech skills. I don't know. But here's what's happening. So Anne and I have been talking for a long time about the fight within our industry over something called clear cooperation. And clear cooperation, as we've told you before, is the rule in which if once you start marketing your property, you real estate agents start marketing a property publicly, you have to put it on the multiple listing service so that everybody gets to see that it's out there. And the purpose of that rule is twofold. One, to create a market for real estate, to have a real market for real estate. These MLSs, multiple listing services, need to have the properties out there. They need to be able to show you properties to create the market for people to buy and sell real estate. one. And two, to benefit sellers and buyers. Sellers get benefit by having the most eyes on their property, which is great. It means they're going to get quite probably the best price. And for buyers, the most opportunity to find a property that they like. And then three, to promote fair housing. Fair housing is a standard that all real estate agents are held to and most care about, which is no nonsense, no discrimination in housing, and to be able to hide things from certain eyes means that you have a better chance of skirting the fair housing rules. So clear cooperation has many, many, many purposes, but the biggest purpose is it creates a market that benefits buyers and sellers. Okay.
Okay, now that we have that out of the way.
Okay, now we got that out of the way. But so there has been the big publicly traded brokerages want to get rid of that rule so that they can create mini markets just for themselves and create value for shareholders. I totally get why, from a shareholder perspective, this would be a nice thing.
Right.
NAR has ruled against it. NAR has decided that it's going to create this rule that says you can, once you publicly market a property within 24 hours, you have to put it on an MLS, but you can choose, seller and agent, to not let it be syndicated across, it's called IDX, syndicated across all these other websites. It can just be on the MLS that agents can see. It won't go to Zillow, it won't go to Redfin, it won't go to all those apps that you as the consumer like.
But now see, our association is so forward, okay? I'll give you two reasons. Number one, we have had that, it's the last page on our listing input. Do you want this to go IDX? Do you want this to go VOW? So we've always been able to keep it from going to those syndications if we choose to. We also have the MLS exemption, which says, don't ever put this in. You see what I'm saying?
Keep it on the private network.
And we have the private network. But
if you, so I agree completely with Ann, but if we then publicly market it, we have to put it on the MLS.
Right.
On the public MLS. But she's absolutely right. We do have a function where you can keep it off IDX now, so it's going to be easier for them to implement this rule.
Right. But, and it could be that other markets don't have that. I don't know.
Yes. Well, Zillow views this rule as incredibly beneficial for Zillow, because Zillow is an IDX fed application and database.
Right. They wouldn't have anything if it weren't for us, right? They wouldn't have much if they didn't have us.
No, they would have nothing. They have nothing. So what they're saying is now, and tons of people, even my buyers, will sometimes send me a listing from Zillow because they got it on their phones. It's great. They use it. Zillow has announced, and this is a real line in the sand, that any listing that chooses no IDX can never be on Zillow. Goes, even if they say it starts private, never be on Zillow. Ever. Yeah, I've got it here. Oh, there. The delay, yeah, the Zillow post. Zillow says any listing that delays IDX syndication will never be posted on it. So,
all right. So what's your prediction with this?
I think that's going to kill Zillow.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. I think they've charged forward into unhappy territory for themselves, which is okay with me.
Well, Zillow has terrible data, but I think
horrible. Number one, I don't know.
It's almost like a small child saying, "I'm taking my toys and going away."
Exactly. Stomping their feet. You can't do this to me.
But I also think they feel that Compass, for example, because Compass is one of the companies that wants this, is going to always hit IDX delay
Yeah.
or no IDX.
You know what? I was showing a Compass property this week. Okay, I just have to rant for a second.
Okay.
It's on the private network. It's been on the private network for 2 weeks, and they claim it's going to be on the private network for another 4 before they put it on. He's getting just as many showings from serious buyers as if he were active. It's silly.
Well, that's because it's on the MLS.
Right.
It's on the MLS. It's on private, so we brokers can find it.
Right.
But no, it is. It's yeah, and
my buyers found it too because they're on Zenlist, and Zenlist allows private listings. So, folks, if you're not on Zenlist, reach out to Kyle, reach out to me, see these private listings.
So, but here's the thing, Anne. I'm asking this question. So, does Zenlist populate because you and I allow for IDX even when it's private?
I don't know if I understand the question.
So everyone, we're getting into the silliness of what we do for a living. When we start to list
behind the scenes,
the first page we see is the brokerage page, which allows us to choose all sorts of packages for filming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one of them is, do you want VOW and IDX?
Right.
And I always say yes to IDX because I want as many people to see it, but I sometimes say no to VOW. But explain to them what VOW is.
Oh, I don't remember what the acronym's for.
It's for them to use to guess how much your property's worth.
Yeah. Okay.
But that. Anyway, so I sometimes say no to VOW.
But it's our company policy that we go to IDX.
Well, because the BairdandWarner.com is an IDX fed.
Right. Right. But we believe in fair housing. We believe in everybody having a shot at everything.
We also understand that that's going to be best for our buyers and sellers, and that's best for us. So anyway.
Right. Okay.
But it's very interesting. I think it's going to kill it.
I think it is too. It's going to be interesting to watch, though.
Yeah. So going back, we've got YIMBY. YIMBY is yes in my backyard. Instead of no not in my backyard, it's yes in my backyard. And so there are a bunch of really cool things happening in Chicago. And YIMBY, you get YIMBY, don't you?
I do.
So YIMBY is a newsletter that tells you what's happening of all sorts of interesting developments. So
what a pretty photograph of this building. My goodness.
I thought this is a good photograph.
It's in my backyard. It's pretty.
It is in your backyard. So the city of Chicago has started to revitalize, reimagine LaSalle Street initiative. And this is one of the properties. So LaSalle Street is one of the streets in what we call the Loop in Chicago. And it is a sort of a canyon of office buildings and sort of, 100-year-old office buildings as well as some new ones. And there's this view that we need to revitalize the downtown, largely post-COVID. And one of the ways is to take some of these office buildings and convert them into partially residential. And so 79 West Monroe is one of the first. So this is on the corner of Clark Street. So these are the pictures. It's the Rector building, which was built in the early 1900s. It's got commercial space on the ground floor, and it's not such a square box that there's going to be all this interior space. So it makes it a good candidate for turning into it. So they're planning floors 7 through 13 will become 117 new apartments. So that's rentals, people. They will mostly be made up of studios and 1-bedrooms with a handful of 2-bedroom apartments, and 35% will be considered affordable by the city standards. On the lower floors, they've got a intrinsic charter high school, and again, the Walgreens. But isn't that cool? That's going to be one of they're going to have this is before the rooftop, they're going to have a sort of a living room for the owners.
Nice.
Isn't that nice?
Community room. Yeah.
Community room. Okay, so now let's go to the second one.
Do you need me to pull it up? There you go.
Did I do that or did you do that?
I did that. Well, maybe we both did it.
Okay. So again, technology is all I am. Anna's our tech geek. So another one is 1006 South Michigan Avenue. And it's right next to that 1000M.
Right.
1000M. And for a long time, the commercial space on the ground floor of this cool white, you can't see my cursor going around and around. This building, the 8-story white building, has been the sales office for 1000M. But now it is going to be residential. They're going to convert it into residential. It's because it's not a historic, but because it's an orange tag building, they don't have to comply with certain things. And certain things are kind of cool. They don't have to comply with the need for parking. So there's going to be no parking. You have to find your own parking. And they don't have to comply with the things that protect birds. So the way that they're getting around, now when you have all these glass windows, you have to do things to protect birds from slamming into it. What they're doing is they're not planting on the roof. So birds won't view this as a place to land, which I thought was sort of interesting. Anyway, there are going to be 49 loft-style apartments. So this is the building. Gives you a little street sense. It's on the corner or near between 10th and 11th Streets on Michigan Avenue. It's got
so north is at the top, south is at the bottom, and to the right is Michigan Avenue and Grant Park, right?
And Grant Park, and then behind it is public transportation, and the Loop. So kind of great. Actually, it's outside the Loop because it's further south than the Loop, but it's in the Loop area.
It's in the Loop neighborhood.
Yes. So this is a typical floor plan because they haven't done it yet, but isn't that kind of cool? They've got windows. So yeah, they don't have windows on the north and the south because they're up against other buildings, but I think that's going to be kind of great.
That's nice.
Okay, our next one. So that's coming. That's going to take a while, but it's coming. So they made a payment. Let's go back to this building. They've made a payment instead of regulations would require 10 units to be set aside for affordable housing. Instead, there are going to be 5 on-site affordable units, and they've made a $1.29 million payment to the Affordable Housing Opportunity Fund in lieu of those 5.
Interesting.
So 21 one-bedroom units, 28 two-bedroom units, and so I think it's kind of great. Anyway, there will be 4,400 feet of retail space. Retail space is finding it very hard to fill on some of these places, so it'll be interesting to see whether they ever fill that up. Okay, then finally.
We've been waiting for this one.
Yes, they announced that this slice, and you'll see it in a second, of where are we now? There, the red slice. So this is right now an open wound on Columbus between Randolph to the south and Wacker to the north. That is been waiting for development. And for a long time, they were like, let's put 2 hotels in there, one stacked on the other. That didn't work. Well, they just announced that the Hoxton Hotel is going in at 193 North Columbus.
Oh, that's going to be great there.
Yes. And it's going to be mixed use. So it's going to be, hotel's going to have 240 rooms and multiple food and beverage locations. And then it's going to have rentals above, studios, 1 and 2 bedroom layouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is that slice just south of the Aqua that is part of that Lakeshore East development that they always knew was going to be developed Yeah, look at that. That's a great photo. It's going to be a great addition to that
It
area.
is. I think it's awfully pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cast a big shadow. Or this is actually looking at it. So the building to the right isn't that the HSBC building?
Yeah.
Which doesn't it have condo in it too? No.
No.
Okay, it's all offices, but they added on. So it's going to be blocked from a beautiful view of a Millennium Park in the main, but it's going to get more afternoon.
It's going to be great. And, they backed it down. They used to have it as being really tall and all that. And so I think it's a nice, reasonable size now. I'm excited.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. So next, let's see if I can pull this up.
Okay.
I can't.
Let me know when you want help. Would you like some help?
So this is another one. This is, I don't know if I put this on the Yimby. I think I took it off, but I then kept it. So I don't know if you've noticed North Avenue from Wells to Larrabee. That used to be this strip of little shops and off-built commercial, businesses. And they're starting to get filled in more and more and more. This is the south side of North Avenue. Filled in with condos and sort of mixed-use properties. So this beautiful Cornerstone Cleaners is going to, right there, and they don't have any pictures of what it's going to look like, but it's going to be 5-unit residential building. I think it's going to be condos. It didn't say that. They call it residential. It's going to be, they're going to have offices on the first floor and 5 dwelling units within the 4 upper floors. Balconies on the front of the building, 2 through 5, and a roof deck and stair enclosure on the 5th floor. But we all
know why the balconies are on the front.
Yeah.
Because the L is in the back.
Yes. The L is, but what's great about it and why people like to build there is you have access to the Red Line, which is up by Clybourne and Halstead, and the Brown Line, which is just around the corner. Right. So
I told you my story about I told you my story about selling a kid a condo on the Brown Line, didn't I? 415 West North Avenue. Outside of his, okay, you picturing where I'm at? So very close to this. Okay. Yeah. His primary bedroom is right at the Brown Line L stop. Right at it.
Ding dong, doors closing.
Oh yeah, you hear it. So what the developer did is he put 2 sliding glass doors that are double paned with air in between to keep the noise down.
And then you put a sound machine and a fan.
Exactly. Right. I'll bet these are like fabulously soundproof, but listen, the L is everywhere. You have to work with it.
And you do get used to it after about 2 years.
Yeah, no, you know what? It took me 2 nights when I lived across from the L one time. 2 nights, that's all it took. And then I never heard it again. But to your point, that location's fantastic. You're halfway to Clybourne and the L and all that great shopping, and you're close to Lincoln Park, and you're on North Avenue for driving. No, it's a fabulous location. I didn't mean to demean it that much.
And Wells Street is becoming such a destination for young people, especially. Yeah. There are bars, there are restaurants, there's fun, there's activity. It's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
good stuff this week. Thank you for bringing that on. I feel more informed.
Long again.
I know. Folks, thanks for sticking with us. Again, follow us on social, subscribe to our YouTube channels, and send us your questions. We will see you next time on Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Dan.
Thank you.